Imagine a year where the sun never truly shines. A year where snow falls in June, where crops fail, and where the sky is filled with a terrifying, permanent twilight. This wasn't a scene from a horror movie. This was reality for millions of people in 1816. A year that would go down in history as the year without a summer. What could cause such a global catastrophe? The story begins halfway around the world, with a mountain that was about to explode. On April 5, 1815, on the remote island of Sumbawa, in what is now Indonesia, Mount Tambora began to stir. The immediate aftermath was devastating. An estimated 10,000 people were killed instantly by the blast and pyroclastic flows. But the true horror was yet to come. The eruption sent a tsunami crashing into nearby islands, wiping out villages and claiming tens of thousands more lives. For the people of Sumbawa and the surrounding islands, it was the end of the world. But Tambra's deadly reach was about to go global. The eruption ejected a colossal amount of sulfur dioxide gas high into the stratosphere, more than 25 miles above the Earth's surface. The planet was on the brink of a new, volcanic-induced ice age, and the people of 1816 had absolutely no idea what was coming. They just knew that something was terribly wrong with the sky. Spring of 1816 arrived, but the warmth did not. Across Europe and North America, the weather grew stranger and more severe. In New England, May was unusually cold, with persistent frosts that killed off newly planted crops. Then came June. On June 6th, a blizzard swept through New England and eastern Canada, dropping up to a foot of snow in some areas. Rivers and lakes froze over. It was a winter storm in the middle of summer. People were terrified and confused. They blamed sunspots, earthquakes, and even Benjamin Franklin's new invention, the lightning rod. For angering God, no one connected the bizarre weather to an unheard-of volcano on the other side of the planet. Farmers replanted their crops, hoping for the best. But July and August brought no relief, only more killing frosts. The corn crop, a staple food, failed completely across much of the northern hemisphere. The little grain that did grow was stunted and poor. The harvest was a disaster. The failure of the harvest sent shockwaves across the globe. Food prices skyrocketed. In Switzerland, the price of bread became so high that people resorted to eating cats, rats, and even boiled moss and sawdust. Grain riots erupted in cities across Britain, France, and Germany as starving mobs looted bakeries and warehouses. In Ireland, the failed potato and oat crops, combined with a typhus epidemic that thrived in the cold, wet conditions, led to a famine that killed tens of thousands. The crisis wasn't confined to Europe. In China, the cold weather destroyed rice paddies in Yunnan province, leading to a devastating famine. In India, the disruption of the summer monsoon triggered a deadly new strain of cholera that would eventually spread across the globe in the world's first cholera pandemic. Starving, desperate families were forced to abandon their farms and flee. It was a mass migration of climate refugees, a century and a half before the term was even invented. Many from New England packed up their belongings and headed west, seeking a better life and a more stable climate in the Ohio Valley. This westward expansion, a defining feature of 19th century America, was massively accelerated by the year of no summer. Beyond the famine and cold, the world looked different in 1816. The volcanic aerosols in the stratosphere created spectacular, yet eerie, atmospheric effects. Sunsets were unusually brilliant, with vibrant red and orange hues that lingered long after the sun had dipped below the horizon. The English painter J.M. Turner captured these stunning, apocalyptic skies in his work. His dramatic, light-filled paintings from this period weren't just artistic license. He was painting exactly what he saw a world tinged with volcanic dust. The sky itself often had a strange, dim quality, covered by a persistent dry fog or haze that made daylight feel like twilight. The sun appeared pale, and at times, sunspots were visible to the naked eye, further fueling public anxiety and fear. It felt as if a permanent veil had been drawn across the heavens, a constant, gloomy reminder that nature was out of balance. But even in the midst of this darkness and despair, the year without a summer sparked incredible moments of human creativity. In Switzerland, a group of young English writers was forced to spend their dreary summer holiday indoors at a villa on the shores of Lake Geneva. Trapède bite incessant rain, they decided to pass the time by telling ghost stories. One of them, an 18-year-old named Mary Shelley, had a waking nightmare one night. She dreamt of a pale student of unhallowed arts, kneeling beside the thing he had put together, a hideous phantasm of a man. That nightmare became the basis for her novel, Frankenstein, or The Modern Prometheus. In the same villa, another guest, Lord Byron's personal physician, John Polite, wrote The Vampire, a story that would create the template for the aristocratic, seductive vampire we know today, directly inspiring Bram Stoker's Dracula. The gloomy, gothic atmosphere of 1816 literally birthed two of literature's most enduring monsters. Meanwhile, another invention was born out of necessity. The widespread death of horses from starvation due to the failure of the oat crop in Germany left people without their primary mode of transportation. A German inventor named Karl von Drey was looking for a horse-free alternative. In 1817, he unveiled his new machine, the Laufmaschine, running machino. It was a two-wheeled wooden contraption that the rider would push along with their feet. It was the world's first bicycle, the direct ancestor of the bikes we ride today. It's a powerful example of how human ingenuity can flourish even in the most challenging of times, turning a moment of crises into a catalyst for innovation that would change the world forever. The effects of 1816 lingered for years. It took time for the stratosphere to clear and for global temperatures to return to normal. The famines and migrations reshaped societies and redrew maps. But perhaps the most profound impact was on our understanding of the world. It was the first time that a single, identifiable event was seen to have a global climatic impact. While people at the time didn't make the connection, the event provided crucial data for future scientists. When Krakatoa erupted in 1883, scientists studying the subsequent temperature drops and spectacular sunsets were able to look back at the accounts from 1816. And finally piece together the puzzle. They realized just how interconnected our planet is, and how a single event in one corner of the world can have devastating consequences for everyone. The year without a summer is a chilling reminder of our planet's power and our own vulnerability. It shows us how fragile our climate system is, and how quickly it can be thrown into disarray. Today, we're not facing a supervolcano, but we are facing a different kind of climate crisis, one of our own making. The story of 1816 is more than just a historical curiosity. It's a warning. It's a story of suffering, but also a story of resilience, innovation, and art born from darkness. It reminds us that even in the bleakest of times, the human spirit finds a way to endure, to create, and to move forward. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story as fascinating as I did, please hit that like button and subscribe for more journeys into the past. See you next time.